Hi, I'm Sally, the woo woo therapist. I'm trying out a new filter today, so might cover up the bags under my eyes a little bit. I love that. I wanted to hop on here and talk a minute about the economy. Everybody's favorite subject to avoid or complain about. I'm going to preface by saying this. I am not a financial advisor. Please don't take financial advice from me as far as like what to do with your retirement, how to manage your bills. I have my own way of doing things, and I can tell you my beliefs that shaped my way of doing things, but ultimately you have to do what is right for you. So, what I do for me isn't necessarily what's right for you, and that's okay. What I really wanted to talk about is how we are seeing more and more people being pushed out of the working class. And when I say the working class, I mean people, whether you have a degree or you're working as a cashier in hospitality, as a server, whatever, it doesn't matter. If you're a tradesman, plumber, HVAC, anything. More and more people who are working to pay bills and to live their life in the United States are finding that it's not realistic anymore. You can work 40 hours a week, do all the right things, you're still coming up short. Most people aren't able to purchase a home in the United States today. If you have a home, you're probably really struggling to pay for taxes, maintenance, upkeep, oil to heat your house, or electricity to keep your house cool. Right now, we're hitting a heat wave in New England. It's supposed to be over 100 degrees for the heat index this weekend. So, that means electricity bills. It means, keeping the freezer stocked with popsicles. Food bills are outrageous. Anyway, I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. What I wanted to say is that I am hearing and seeing more and more people talk about I lost my job 6 months ago. My wife lost their job a year ago. We're putting in applications. We put in 500 applications, 1,000 applications, not getting anything. We're screwed. Now we have to move. We're screwed. We're cooked. That's the end, right? It might be the end of the life that you've become accustomed to. It might be the end of your middle class existence in a capitalistic society where you can go to Walmart and buy whatever you want. I know, I'm not rich at the Dollar Tree anymore. That's kind of a bummer, right? Even going to Goodwill sometimes, I can't just pick whatever up I want at Goodwill and buy it anymore. Like Goodwill is charging ridiculous prices for stuff sometimes. So, how do we navigate this situation without the doom and gloom of we're just all screwed? We all have to go live with our boomer parents and hear about what failures we are until they die, right? Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to be homeless either. Been there, done that. It's not the best. Right? What I do know is that you don't have to be punching a clock to survive in this world. Every single human being walking this planet has strengths. We have skills that are transferable. That means that we have things that we do well that we can use to trade, barter, and monetize for what we need. And I know a lot of people are like, but how do you do that? Or, yeah, I don't have money to da 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 da. Like, I'm talking about you have nothing but you. And what do you do to survive? Right. Okay. So I have been in that situation more times than I want to count. The most prevalent time in my life was when I was incarcerated. I entered prison with nothing and I left prison with nothing. And my family had very little to offer me. And I don't know what most people know about the incarcerated state in the United States, but they don't give you much. They give you three hots and a cot. And I could go into what that looks like day to day. I'm more than happy to do that. But really, what I want to get at is I had to find a way to survive in prison, to get what I needed day to day, to live, halfway comfortably as much as you can there. And I didn't have money to do it. Most people don't have money to do it in there. Some people do, and that's good for them. But I did not. All I had was my skills, my strength set. And I used that. I used that for 18 months. And I had coffee every day. I had a radio to listen to. I had paper and stamps and pens and colored pencils and what art supplies I could gather. I had, you know, contraband stuff that was worth a lot, um, and that I could use. I, was able to gather a lot of materials in there to be able to use uh, things in order to create other things or, get things from one person to another. I've always been a good middleman. So I got through years of addiction too. I certainly didn't have money to support an addiction for as long as I did. And yet somehow I used transferable skills to support an addiction. And I know you're like, well, Sally, that doesn't count. Yeah, it does because I'm a resourceful bitch. I can get by with nothing. You could take everything I have from me today, and I would not fear the unknown because I've lived the unknown. You could take my house, you could take my car, you could take my bank account, whatever it is, I'm going to survive. I know I'll survive because I don't need material things. I don't need a job and a time clock and a bank account to be able to survive in this world. What I need is to recognize that I am a sovereign human being. I have skills to offer other people in a variety of different settings. And all I need is the confidence to go out and tell people, I have something that you could use. And what can you give me for it? Right. And to not limit my brain to money because there is a whole system out there designed to keep us controlled by currency. Currency is a great tool. We need it in this world to survive to a certain extent. I'm not denying that. What I'm saying is there's lots of forms of currency besides the paper and coins and digital. Lots of forms of currency. You are currency. So if you're struggling to figure out how you're going to survive, if you're in the mindset of this is it, I'm screwed, I would encourage you to think outside the box. I would encourage you to look in the mirror and say, what am I good at? And how can I use that to get what I need today? And take it one day at a time. You don't need to figure out the next 5 or 10 years if you're struggling to live day by day. Just figure out today. Trust that the universe is going to give you what you need because more than anything, more than any strengths, more than any skills that I have put my faith in the universe to provide what I've needed every single day of my life, and it hasn't let me down. Even when I was in active housing insecurity, I had a place to lay my head at night. Even when I was in active food insecurity, I had enough food to eat. Even when I woke up and didn't know how I was going to not be dope sick that day, every single day, if that's what I told the universe I needed to survive that day, they brought it to me. Even if it was a pack of cigarettes, a Mountain Dew, and a bag of heroin, that's what I got because that's what I told the universe I needed to survive that day. I tell the universe I need much better things today, and I get a beautiful, beautiful payout from the universe. But I have trust and I have faith in myself and in my guides that I'm going to get what I need and I'm going to be exactly where I need to be when I need to be there, regardless of whatever this little brain tells me. So I hope that helps somebody. Please ask questions. I'm more than happy to share and expand on that if you'd like.